since I have a daughter, Beatrix is 10 years old, and she attended, 5 or 6 years in a row at the camp. What was really special for her is that one, it's run by women for the most part. Most of the kind of leads of the camp were women, and I thought it was really nice for her to see, young ladies in a position of authority and leading this camp that she cared so much about. Um, so McGill Sports Camp it has a lot of really unique points to it. I work at McGill, so the kind of convenience of it being right in the middle of downtown, I think for parents is a big plus. But more than that, it's really exciting for the kids, and I didn't really anticipate this when we first started going there. But the fact that they're in these a complex, that's used by the Montreal Alouettes or it's used by varsity teams. You see some of these athletes, in their posters on the wall, and then you see them in real life, and a lot of them are, teachers there or camp counselors there, and you kind of walk into Molson Stadium, and I think even as an adult, it's really exciting. You see the scoreboard in the stands, and I think that's for the kids, it's really really fun and exciting, and it allows them to kind of project their own selves onto that world, and so I think that really makes it quite unique. Um, and then the other thing we discovered about McGill Sports Camp as we went along, and since I have a daughter, Beatrix is 10 years old, and she attended, 5 or 6 years in a row at the camp. What was really special for her is that one, it's run by women for the most part. Most of the kind of leads of the camp were women, and I thought it was really nice for her to see, young ladies in a position of authority and leading this camp that she cared so much about. And also that they get introduced to a lot of sports, but at the same time, it's sort of like what I mentioned with the facilities, is that a lot of these are varsity athletes. Some of them even play for national teams for Canada, and whether it's basketball or tennis or all kinds of other sports. And there was, I think it's just really inspiring and just super cool for the kids to get to interact with such a high caliber of athlete. And so again, though, I think all those things really make it a unique setting for them. So she has done other camps at other, recreation centers and camps that were not athletic based. And it's funny, my daughter is not the most athletic of children. Like she really has a few things she loves. She loves to swim, but she's not. She doesn't really play for competitive sports or anything like that. So I think that's maybe an important message about McGill Sports Campus. It's really about having fun and being introduced to different sports. And then so at these other camps, she enjoyed some of them. She didn't enjoy as much. I think what really sets McGill apart is it just really seems like I said the quality of the day that they put together for them. Like I said, my daughter's a big swimmer, and so one of the things they've always done is that they swim every day, where a lot of other camps it's only every couple days. And that was a big difference for her. And so yeah, so even though it's sports oriented, their after school programs too, they have like arts and crafts as well, and not just but they also have specialized sports for kids who want to play, really do more kind of targeted instruction than whether it's basketball or tennis or some of the other offerings they have, soccer in particular. But yeah, I think it was really just the quality of the experience at McGill. And so eventually, after she's tried a number of camps, like I said, and everything from that things that were more kind of craft or art based or outside based. She just really has always gravitated towards McGill, and like I said, yeah, I think it's just this kind of quality of the instruction, the people that are there, and also the setting of like both being inside with the equipment and the nice facilities they have there, but also being outside. They get to spend a lot of time outside as well, and yeah. So, and again, it's not, every day you get to swim in like a competitive level pool, and you play in, competitive level gyms or on fields like that. So I think that's really what has kept her going back to McGill, where the others she's lost interest in. Yeah, I think so. I had received this question in advance, and it made me think about the difference we saw. And so she started going to this camp, I guess before at their earliest age, so I guess grade 5, and through the years, like I mean, I think what we saw for one was just a physical development. I mean, obviously kids get older, but we found that the camp I think really helped with her stamina. It really helped her move, and I think even prepare for school from going from daycare to then being at a setting where you're moving all day and you're learning new things and so we saw a lot of sort of physical and endurance development for her, which was is a big jump from being a child to being a school age child. But then it's sort of like I touched on in my previous answers that I really think she became very close to not only some of the counselors but also the administrators at the camp. And she sometimes would see them outside of camp, just as we were on campus, and they would say hi, and she would continue to remember them. And so, I just think having role models of that age, like so they're really young adults, but they're not like having your parents tell you things or ask you to do something. And I think she found that really really inspiring, and we saw a lot of kind of emotional and maturity growth through the years of going to sports camp. I think just being encouraging them to encouraging their children to be open to the new experiences. Like I said, my daughter's not particularly athletic, and she's always really just gravitated towards swimming, which was only part of the day. But and she sometimes is maybe a little bit hesitant to try new activities, especially things that are competitive. She's never really been drawn to competitive sports, but at sports camp, like I said, I think it's a very safe environment, and it's a very encouraging environment. There's no, I don't think they do it in any way that's competitive or it just really is an opportunity to give children a chance to learn new sports and learn new activities. And some of them are games too. My daughter always talks about Gaga ball, which they do there as kind of a fun activity. And it's apparently kind of an indoor ball based activity from Israel, and so they learn a little bit about things. And I think it really opens their horizons, where kids, might be like, oh, soccer, I hate soccer for some reason. But they get put in the setting. And they maybe discover something that they're good at that they didn't know or that they really like. And so I think it's just with the parents is like I said, not to be turned off by the fact that it's called a sports camp, because it is activity based, it's physically based, but it's not necessarily to develop a specific sport or to sort of to practice. And so I think kind of being open minded about that and encouraging their children to really try each sport and give it their all and see maybe they'll discover there's something that they didn't know before. And I think that's really what the fun one of the fun things they get out of the camp. Well, my daughter really just she loves the camp. Maybe I shouldn't say this to other parents, but what she's always like, it's the best camp because they give us freezies. Like they get a once or twice a week. I think they get a special treat of freezies. The Mr. Freeze popsicles, and so she just really speaks about it with a lot of joy and anticipation each year. She always, like I said, through the years, she's lost interest in trying anything else. For the few weeks that she goes to camp, she really wants it to be McGill Sports Camp, and I have heard her. She's brought, she's encouraged other friends to go. We've had friends through the years. Who are more from francophone who then sent their kids to come with Beatrix during one of the sessions as a chance to work on their English for one, because like I said, the camp is actually really bilingual. Most of the counselors speak really good French, and a lot of the kids speak French all day long. So it's the same thing. It's a nice way to be kind of introduced to a different part of the city. If you're francophone, be introduced to McGill, which is not something that you necessarily would have contact with for most families. And so, yeah, I just think Beatrix has become the biggest supporter of it as well, and she has told friends and other families that it's something they should consider. And so, I think that's a pretty big endorsement. I really do think it's a great value as well, a great experience for the kids to come to McGill. I don't think it's you know, particularly expensive or anything like that, and they really do take a lot of care of them, and they all have a lot of fun while they're there. And so yeah, I encourage people to give it a try. It's a great camp.